This is Techmodo, a Gizmodo series where we take a dive into some of the most recent tech news with some expert guests. This week, Lyndsey talks to me about how the once popular vinyl format is making a resurgence and spitting in the face of the streaming service. So picture this, it's 2023 and you have all of the music you could ever want at your fingertips for a few bucks once a month. Instead, you opt to buy one album's worth of 12-ish songs on vinyl for $30. According to Billboard, vinyl sales have risen for the 17th straight year, and 43.46 million records were sold in 2022 alone. But why? I'm not judging the vinyl heads of the world, but the recent vinyl boom is a bit of a conundrum to me. In a world of seemingly endless music consumption digitally for $10 a month on Spotify or Apple Music, why would people spend so much money on tech from the 1970s? Well, I talked to Lyndsey about just that. Lyndsey is a senior editor at Billboard who has covered the vinyl industry extensively, and she has some interesting things to say about the 2022 vinyl boom. What is your take on this boom in vinyl that we saw in 2022 and even 2021?
It's wild because it's been happening slowly for a long time. Obviously, there was Record Store Day, which started getting people reinterested in the format. But then I really think what happened when the pandemic hit was it was kind of this perfect storm in a weird way of people were suddenly at home. People were not going to live music, so they wanted to put that money that they would normally spend to support an artist elsewhere. And by nature, listening to vinyl is something that you do at home, alone. It requires time, it requires kind of being still for a while, and that's literally all anyone was doing. Yeah. And so I think that a lot of that just fed into, like I said, the perfect storm of this format exists, let's put all of our money there now instead of concerts.
Okay, so you would say there was maybe a push from labels as well as a push from audiences to consume it.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, I think that it was something that labels saw as we can do this to generate some income right now. That's why you see a lot of live albums that were re-released on vinyl or pressed on vinyl for the first time, or albums in general that aren't live recordings pressed on vinyl for the first time. Yeah. It's just a really good way to make some extra income. Cool. And then I think fans were responding well to that, and that now they've demanded it from their favorite artists.
Right. What do you think is the benefit as a fan to consume your music physically as opposed to digitally on a platform like a streaming service?
One of our data partners, Luminate, they released this really compelling year-end report for 2022. One of my favorite and most alarming stats is that only 50% of people over the age of 13 own a record player of people who buy vinyl. Oh. So that is this whole other world of, okay, so vinyl's doing really well. That doesn't even mean that half of these people are listening to it. Yeah. Like this one guy I was talking to about why he thinks it's doing well as a format, and I love this, he compared it to sneaker culture. Who's basically like, it's for kids specifically, they're collecting it, Yeah. It comes in different colors, some of it's signed, some of it comes with like fold out posters. Yeah. It is merch to a certain extent, and I think that's also fine. There's this crazy narrative of like, if you don't buy vinyl because you love vinyl and you want to sit and listen to it on your super expensive turntable, you don't deserve to have it. And I hate that. I want to dismantle that. If you want to go into Urban Outfitters and buy vinyl and frame it and put it on your wall, great, you're still buying vinyl. Sure. So I just bring that up because I find that fascinating. Yeah. But then for people who do listen to it, like I said, there are some albums that I truly want to listen to and be unbothered by. I don't want to ad to come up in the middle of it. If you're using a free DSP, whatever, you don't want to be distracted by whatever else is happening on your phone, computer. You just have to physically put on this record and be paying attention to flip it. Yeah. And just enjoy that for whatever period of time.
Well, it's kind of brought the idea of the album back. Like I feel like for a while on streaming services, it was playlists or it was singles. And now I think people are re-recognizing the value of an album of 12 songs by this artist. What do you think streaming services can provide that vinyl maybe can't?
I think a lot of it is music discovery. Like to buy vinyl, you have to kind of already know what you like. Of course, you can go into a record store and create dive and pick something up, but there's a price tag attached to it. We're also seeing the price of vinyl go up a bit too. Right. So it's not like you can really go in and just buy 5 records that you've never heard of before and feel confident about that financial decision. Sure. But yeah, with streaming, it's really nice that you can just kind of hit play. You don't really have to think. You can be told what is cool, what is new, and discover music that way. Yeah. It's also portable, you know? You're not gonna bring a record player in the car. You're not gonna go on a run. Like,
Right.
it's just, it requires a completely different listening experience.
Cool. So there's definitely merit to owning vinyl, whether you're actually committing yourself to sitting down and listening to an hour-long album or just hanging it on your wall as pretty art. Also, Lyndsey says it's a good way to support your fave, whether you're listening to a struggling indie band that plays at a bar or connecting with the lyrics of a pop giant that sells out stadiums. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and check out other Gizmodo videos here on YouTube.